Have you challenged this year?
Twice. I'm 0 for 2. I banned myself. Hey, I may aim ne is a OJ Adell.
You just made this up.
Dude, I'm going to get it. I was having an out-of-body experience. I was fired up, man. I don't want somebody to get fired.
Welcome back to Season 4 of On Base. I'm your host, Mookie Betts, and today we have a 2017 first-round pick, Angels outfielder, and the only man to rob 3 homers. That's dope. 3 homers in one game, especially. Jo Adell, thanks for coming, brother.
Of course, brother. Glad to be here. It's awesome.
Everything been good?
Everything's been good, man. Staying the course. A lot of ball left to play.
A lot of ball left to play, as you know. We got a new game this year I want to kind of get into, and it's called Make the Call. They're pitches, right? And you got to guess. You got to guess if it's a strike or ball.
Okay.
If you get it wrong, I have a bowl of questions that we get to ask you. If you get it right, obviously you don't have to answer any questions, all right? First, I want to know about what did you think about the ABS challenge system? Everything, you like it?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely changing the game. There's definitely a strategy behind, using it. I know for us, like, we're trying to approach it if we're in a situation where runners in scoring position, that type of thing, that we try to pull it out and use it. But there's certain guys that are kind of banned right now from using it. We got a couple
guys. How do you get banned?
If you're tapping and it's over the middle of the plate, you know what I mean, and it's a repeat offender, you gotta, you gotta shut it down.
Okay, so have you challenged this year?
I have. So I've challenged, I think, twice.
Okay. What's your percentage?
I'm 0 for 2.
So are you banned?
I banned myself a little bit. I'm trying to be careful with it. Really like the off speed, like down in the zone that kind of clips the bottom. It's kind of tough. So I've kind of put myself on the back burner from using it for right now.
Yeah, I actually haven't challenged any. I do like it though, because I think it's fair all the way around. For both pitchers and hitters, and but I haven't challenged any. And part of me is like I would rather our pitchers use it, especially getting late into the game. I did use one in my rehab assignment, and I got it right, so it did give me encouragement.
You got some confidence.
I got a little confidence with it, but we'll see if I use them again. I'd rather people like Shohei and the pitchers use it.
100%.
Those are real game.
And if you're not seeing it, you got to be honest with yourself.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? If you're not, that's the thing. If I'm not picking this guy up, I'm probably not using it. You know what I mean?
You ready?
Yeah, let's get it.
Now you're in. Don't ask me. This is on you. Okay.
It's a tough angle right there too.
I know.
It's like bird's eye view. It's the umpire.
This is the umpire
cam.
view. So now we get a little taste of their medicine.
That's got to be a ball.
I think that's got to be a ball too.
That backed up a little bit. It backed up a good bit, right?
Yeah.
What?
Yep. That's why you're banned.
Oh, yeah. That's why I'm out. I can't.
So
let's do it.
Well, all right. Question 1. I thought it was a ball too, so I'd be banned.
Didn't it look arm side the whole way time?
It did.
Oh wow. You speak pig Latin. Have you ever needed to use that for anything, and how did you learn it?
Pig Latin? What? I mean,
pig Latin.
I heard of that when I was in like elementary school, but what?
Can you speak it a little bit? No. It's basically saying like words backwards, but you start with the vowel. So like whatever word you're saying, you start with the vowel and then put the letters before it at the end. So it's
where do they speak this?
My mom taught me. My mom was an English teacher forever and has been in education forever, and it was just kind of like a family thing. Okay. So we would kind of had our own hidden language.
So they don't speak. This isn't like a real, like in South America or Europe or something.
No, it's claimed to have been at some point, like kind of just like one of those one-offs. People just kind of could talk to each other, communicate, but it's nothing official.
Okay, so say, hey, my name is Jo Adell.
Hey, I may aim ne is a OJ Adell. So, how about that? Ude uye ikpe ikpe. Do you speak pig Latin? So
it sounds like you just made this up.
I know, it's crazy, but it sounds good though. It sounds like I'm fluent with it though.
No, it sounds like you're sick.
See, I could talk about you right now, and you wouldn't know what I'm saying. So I have like an advantage. Actually, me and my mom and sister and a couple cousins have done it before. We've talked about somebody in front of them, and they didn't know. They had no idea. Yeah.
Were they American? Because
yes.
I mean, this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
So okay, pitch 2.
That's got to be a ball down.
All right, let's see it.
What? He didn't catch that well.
No, don't try to make it his fault.
Who has the worst walk-up song on the team?
Ooh.
You know what? He keeps changing his, but Nolan's walk-ups are.
Oh, really?
I'm not feeling it. He went with some of the Fergie stuff, and I nothing against Fergie, but I'm like, hey man, we gotta backseat it, man.
Okay, so what's your walk-up?
Too Hard for the Radio right now. So I just did from the new Drake album.
Okay.
So I just,
and he dropped 3 albums at the
3. 2 days ago.
I haven't even heard. I don't even listen to music much anymore.
No, I just got through Iceman,
Okay.
and then
I've heard that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I didn't get through all the rest.
Are you a Drake guy, or are you just like he made a couple songs?
I'm kind of just like I ride the wave of what everybody's listening to, try to get in on it. But I'm like an all music guy, so like I don't no
like country
genre
music?
country. Yeah, I like everything, dance, electric, like everything. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Pitch 3.
I need to be starting to say. I just need to start saying just strike. Can we play that again? Hey, so now I gotta want to play it twice.
Just go ahead and reach your hand in here.
That's a ball. That's up. That's up arm side. Like he put it away. Yes. Yes.
Good for you.
See, it's like the odds. If I keep saying ball, it's gonna eventually be.
At some point,
at
he
some
can't
point, right?
do all strikes. So, like, is there a theory that you have when you're looking at these, like, as you're up there?
The thing for me is I feel like with the ABS, we've been better at the top of the zone.
Okay.
The bottom part of the zone's tough.
It's like. I feel like that there is no top. Like at the top it's a ball.
Yeah.
All the time, But at the bottom, like you said, it just clips it.
Yeah, like sometimes I go back to the ABS if I don't challenge like a pitch up called strike, and I go back and look at it and I'm like, man, that was like
nowhere near.
Yeah, like a ball up. And I didn't think it was that far up, you know. So
all right, next pitch. You got one right. I'm gonna go off the. Oh yeah, you're no.
Let's play it again. That worked for me last time.
Oh my gosh.
I don't get to do this in the game. This is God, that looks out, doesn't it? What do you think? No,
you can't ask me. I know what it is.
You already know.
No, I have no idea, but I just can tell.
I feel like he caught that. No, that's a ball out. Stop.
I think it's a strike.
Yes. Come on.
See, that's why I don't challenge.
See? I knew it had some of that arm side out there. I was looking at it, I was like, nope. That ran off.
All right, we got one more.
That's a strike.
Let's see it.
Oh.
So
You
your
cut that one
percentage is
in.
not that
Okay.
bad.
Yeah, when I get him to play it 3 times.
No, that one you didn't, but it is what it. Okay, so Joe, I think you should unban yourself, bro. You did pretty good. And really the statistics say it's like 50-50 anyway, especially on a lot of these pitches. So if you start challenging stuff over the harder
I'm just glad we didn't have the umpire view again. That one.
Oh, yeah, the umpire view was rough.
That one was tough.
Okay, so let's switch gears a little bit. I want to talk about your home run robberies, bro. You had that game robbing those homers. What was going through your mind as you were the first one, should I say?
Yeah.
Because I remember being in the outfield is like you hardly ever get a chance to rob a homer, and so you got to take advantage of that situation because the chances of you having another one are very slim. So here you go.
Yeah, so I mean, Cal really hit this ball.
Yeah.
I mean,
You got back there quick.
This was a line shot, and two, like the thing that I love too is we were positioned a little deeper, like throughout the entirety of this game. Normally we're playing a tad bit shallow, but we played. They have a bunch of pull side lefties that really can hit the ball with Seattle. You know that, but so I was back on this ball already, and then when he hit it, my first step was great. I got back to the wall, and really I was just like, it's just time to get up. You know what I mean? It had a little bit of top spin too
So it
at the end. Yeah, it helped me a little bit at the end, but just getting back and just going for it, trying to be aggressive.
Okay, so then let's go to the second one. Naylor hit this one.
This was crazy. It was just like I was in the same spot. I was literally in the same spot.
This one had a little more air under it though.
Yeah, it had a little more hang time on
Look
it.
at you. What was that celebration?
I was fired up, man. I was
You showed
I was
them the
feeling
ball.
it. I was having an
Fist
out-of-body
bump.
experience,
Okay.
at this point.
I mean, because, to do 2 in a game, like...
Crazy. Mike was looking at me like, what am I watching right now? You know what I mean? When you get somebody like that to look over and they're impressed, you're like, hey, you got it going on. So
then you get another one, bro. But this one was crazy though.
This one was
This
wild.
one was crazy.
This one was wild. So I'm over here. I'm still playing back. So I'm playing deep. So really, I'm just running straight across at this point. But when I get over there, this ball is like right in front of the foul pole. So I'm like looking at the foul pole, and I'm like, just focus on the ball. You know what I mean? Don't worry about the foul pole. And it sneaks back fair. I'm right there, and then I just kind of like lean over and bring it back. And
were you scared to hurt yourself? Or you're like, nah, I'm going.
I was like,
in.
dude, I'm going to get it. We're in a 1-0 ball game. You know, we got our closer on the mound. It's the 9th inning. It's like I'm going with it. And then obviously we got the celebration right there at the end with the fans in the stands.
You got a picture right there, right? And the picture was dope.
Legendary.
Did you?
Legendary stuff. It's crazy.
Did you need to sign that and then hang it up in your house, bro?
So my fiance Jasmine just got it framed. We just blew it up, had it printed out. So the lady that took it, she gave us multiple photos, and she was really cool about it. And we had her on the field and did like a whole thing with it. But we blew it up, and they actually, I think they said that they have like a local bar that they own, and so she brought it to the field, had me sign it for her, and I wrote a little note on there and everything.
That's super dope. And it's, your mom was there too?
She was, yeah. So mom came in town, so we gotta have her out more often.
What did she say?
Oh, she was without words, just fired up. You know what I mean? And she's a very professional woman, but to see her kind of get fired up was pretty cool.
And then Torrey said that was one of the best defensive games he had seen, and coming from him. Dude. I mean, you got Trout looking at you like, what's going on? You got Torrey looking at you like, what's going on?
They were watching the post game, just like watching me talk on there, just in awe, and I was like, no, stop. Like when these two are watching you and they're trying to act like they've never seen something before, it's kind of a crazy moment.
Has Torrey helped you a lot in the outfield defensively?
Oh, a ton. Just really like, when I first got up, I struggled going back on the ball. So it's kind of funny how that's kind of like a superpower of mine is going back now, because it used to be something I struggled with. So really just the mindset of just going back and just getting after it, and he was one of the best at doing it. I mean, it's Torrey, so pretty awesome.
Then you had you robbed another homer in Cleveland. Like that was like last week or something, wasn't it?
Crazy. Yeah. Crazy. So what are the odds?
Now you're the guy. I mean, shoot. So I wanna switch a little bit and talk about some of the greats that you've been around, like Torrey, Shohei, obviously, Mike. What have those guys what has Mike meant to you, and what has he taught you as far as playing the outfield and really the whole game in general?
100%. I've kind of, outside of Mike, I'm like the second longest tenured Angel now. So I've been around, Mike now for a while, but really just taught me the level of consistency of just your work. And Shohei was unbelievable too when he was with us, and just being very meticulous about a routine and committing to something. Because, like you're going to go out there and there's just going to be days where it doesn't go your way and you don't have it going on. There's going to be weeks where it's like that. Right. And so it's real easy to want to switch something up and change something or try to reinvent the wheel. And these guys are just like, hey, like, we know what works. Like, you know who you are as a player. Just commit to that process. So over the last 5 and 6 years of, really being in the big leagues and being around Mike and these guys, they just show you that level of consistency and what they do in their routine. So
how have you balanced? Because at some point you do have to switch some things up just to keep up with what's going on. How have you balanced being consistent, but also switching some things up and adding to your repertoire of whatever it is, whether it's hitting, defense, or whatever? How have you balanced that?
100%. I think one of the big things for me is when I'm getting a little out of whack, I'm trying to do too much. And that's normally, I'm trying to either, if I'm slumping, I'm trying to swing my way out of it, or if I'm not feeling too great, I'm not seeing the ball or I'm chasing. And one thing that's always a constant is to just go back on defense. And that's always, that's kind of how I've reverted back to kind of getting back going at the plate, is like, if I can go out and make a big play or go out and focus on trying to get it out. If I'm getting out, somebody else is getting out, and kind of try to have that mindset. A lot of times things will click back, but really just shorten up and do what the game's asking for.
Right.
A lot of times just get me back.
Just play the game.
Yeah, just play it.
Not worry about all the extra things.
No, don't be the hero. Just play it, and then you'll get back into that groove.
And then eventually we'll be the hero.
Yeah.
All right, I do want to talk a little bit about Shohei and pitching. He's going crazy right now, especially. But in general, you saw him pitching all the time. What you got on him pitching, bro?
The thing about Sho that, gets me going is the fact that he'll come into spring training, he'll say, hey, like, I want to do this. And most people come to spring training and they have all sorts of ideas about what they're going to do, and he just does it.
Yeah,
it's like he came in, I remember when he started messing around with the sweeper for the first time a couple of years ago, and we were like, now it's like one of the best sweepers in the game, you know what I mean? It's just, it's crazy to see, but really just his tenacity and focus when it comes to getting it done and trying to find whatever he's trying to do, it's like he finds a way to get it done all the time. So he's been just a force out there.
It's kind of sometimes not really fair just because, people say you can do whatever you put your mind to, right? And it's true in a lot of situations. But like in the big leagues, it's not really like you can't just say, oh, I'm going to throw a sweeper and then be the best in the league at throwing a sweeper.
Throw it one time in a bullpen and come out and then go 8 shutty.
You know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't really work that way. And for him, it does. I think his rules to life are a little different than the rest of us, which is cool. I'm glad he's on our team. So, you had your chance. You had him. Sorry about it. But I do want to talk about, and then him having obviously two of the best in the game as far as Shohei and Trout. How did it go? Shohei then Trout or Trout then Shohei?
I think for the most part it was Shohei leading off and then Trout was second.
How was that when you're in the lineup and you see Shohei Trout?
Oh, well, I'll tell you right now, it's great. You know you're going to get something good to hit because those two dudes are going to wear him out. You know what I mean? Sure. You're hanging out behind that and you're like, I'm in good shape. But, I mean, it's special. And the crazy thing is about, like, Sho, too, was, like, think about that. He pitched, he would lead off, right? And work the count just like you would if you were any other position player and then go out and throw 7 innings with 3 hits and no runs, and we expected it. I had to wake myself. I'm like, hey, like this is ridiculous. Sitting on the bench expecting a guy to go and do this in a major league game is insane.
That's what I see now is like, if he doesn't get a hit or it doesn't maybe have a couple bad games, it's like, well, what's wrong with Shohei? Well, I mean, he did just go 7 innings, 2 hits. He does have a .7 ERA. You forget like all the other ways that he really affects the game. And so how would you rank that as far as like duos, Shohei and Trout? I would say for me, that's got to be like, I would say probably top 3 or 4 duos ever. Like back to back, those two, there can't be that many more duos that are better than Shohei and Trout.
Dude, it was silly, like sitting back and watching it, and then you get like for me, I got used to being a part of it and just like being out there, and it's like this is wild. And there was a time where Pujols was out there.
Oh yeah,
too.
That.
You know what I mean? For us, so it was just having that. That's about as star-studded as that. I mean, that's big time.
That's
you know
big
what I mean?
time.
That's big time for sure.
Back in 2023, I know you probably remember watching the WBC and you saw Shohei and the Mike showdown, right?
It's epic.
Did you? Was there like a group chat or something going on when that happened?
Well, I think nobody knew what to say. I think that's kind of what the vibe was, because we were all sitting watching the game, and it was like, well, we can't say what a punch out. You know what I mean? Because it's like,
because it's Mike.
Are we gonna get we're gonna get our bags packed and they're gonna send us out of here? We don't want to talk about it. But I mean, you want to talk about two of the best players ever, just going like a clash of titans. I mean, it was pretty unreal.
Was it weird when they got back to camp?
Oh no, I don't think so.
Everybody was cool.
Everybody was cool, and
was it talked about at all?
For sure, but it was good for baseball, and that's what everybody got out of it, was just the experience of seeing that. You're not going to see that every day. You know what I mean? Like Mike wearing USA, Shohei with Japan, like one-on-one. Like that's what everybody came to see. So
that was really amazing. And then when being there, you kind of take it for granted because you don't even really pay attention to that. You're just playing the game,
right?
I mean, obviously, you know that they're teammates, but you're not really paying attention to the whole thing, like what just happened, because things like that don't ever really happen. And so for it to happen and whatnot, looking back on it, like, dang, that was kind of...
You don't recognize the moment. You're in it. You're competing in it. And then you look back and go, wow, that moment was huge.
That was huge. Yeah, it was huge. Like you mentioned earlier, you have the second most time on the Angels. Is that weird for you?
Really weird, actually. It's
Because you have that's a different responsibility. You know, you're still like ascending in the game yourself, right? And so now you're kind of responsible for some other people. And how have you balanced that?
Well, it's kind of an interesting thing because, you know, when I came up to the big leagues, it was, you know, there were guys facilitating kind of like what I was going to do and kind of what my role is as a younger player. And it's almost like now that's kind of my goal is to help facilitate what that is for some of the younger guys and guys that are fresh that are coming up to the big leagues for the first time. So I embrace it. You know, my experience when I got called up was different because it was during COVID. Yeah. So I got called up in 2020. So there was a lot of, I want to say like kind of like team separation just because of that time and the aura of it. But really just my goal is I just want to be a guy that anybody can come up to. Just talk about anything, just be there, reaching out to everybody, wanting to kind of create that level of camaraderie within the young guys. If we can get guys to come up, and you know this, but if we can get guys to come up from AAA and feel like they're still in AAA and that comfort level, that's just the better they're going to play. You know, we don't want anybody to make the moment bigger than what it has to be. It's going to be a big moment, you know, and it's already big. But we want them to kind of just be comfortable in who they are. And I think that that's kind of where my role is facilitating that for the guys.
How do you balance, you know, teaching and showing the young guys certain things, but you're also kind of learning certain things yourself?
I think just kind of ask the questions, you know, like if I'm seeing something, just like talk through something with somebody, I might get something out of it, you know, by talking through it. If somebody's going through something or if I see something. But like you said, I'm learning from Mike. Mike's learning from other guys too, from different things. And we kind of just use each other to kind of just, you know, pick each other's brains and kind of, you know, get some info when we can. And really, though, the guys have been really good about it. Like, we've really had, like, a solid group as far as guys working, trying to figure things out, trying to learn things, you know, putting new things into play right away. We obviously have some work to do, but we collectively, though, like, Mike's done a great job. And, you know, I kind of look to kind of back that up.
What does Mike really mean to you guys? You know, I mean, obviously he's, you know, the face of the Angels, right? I mean, one of the best players to ever play. So what does he really mean to you guys in that clubhouse?
I think for a guy like him, he's a very, you know, follow my lead, watch as I go. And, you know, it's important kind of for me to guide that and say, hey, like, if you want to know what it takes, you know, you need to watch this guy. You know, you need to come to the cage and watch him do his early work, you know, watch him do his work on the field and just kind of be a fly on the wall to kind of see what it takes. And the same thing when Show was here too, is like these guys were just, they did the same thing at the same time every day, you know, and they were, when you commit to something, when you commit to a process and a routine, you find yourself in a space where you can really, you know, you're going to find that level of consistency. And so, you know, we don't want guys coming in the cage and one day they got a toe tap, next day they have a leg kick, you know, next day they're, you know, switching bats. We want to show them, hey, this guy has, you know, from Millville, New Jersey, swung the same bat since he was 16 years old. He's had the same swing since he was, you know, the same drill routine. What works, works. You are who you are. And so we want to make sure that we, you know, promote that. And that's what we get.
And it's hard. It's hard when you're, especially when you're going through it, to just stick with the same thing over and over again, because sometimes that becomes like the definition of insanity, right? And it's a good thing or a bad thing, right? Because at some point when it's not working, you would think like, okay, you can't keep doing the same thing because it's not working. But also, on the flip side, you need to keep doing the same thing because at some point it's going to work. So it's like that balance of figuring out what works and then just literally sticking to it no matter what you're going through. All right, so I want to go back to young Joe. Where are you from, bro?
I'm originally from Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville, Kentucky.
Yep, Louisville, Kentucky. So home of the horse racing.
You and Smitty.
Yeah, me and Smitty. Yeah.
There's an age difference, so you guys didn't know each other or grew up playing against each other.
No, we didn't. But we were both. I was committed to Louisville, so I would go and watch Louisville games all the time. So.
Are you about the same age as Rushing? How old are you?
I'm a couple years older, I think, or maybe a year or two older than Rushing.
So you would have went to school with him?
Yes, I think I would have played with him for probably a year at Louisville or so.
So from Louisville, you know, my family is from Louisville. My whole dad's side of the family is from Louisville. I used to go, I mean, I still do, but Shively, that's where my grandma.
Shively, yeah.
She used to live there. She used to live there. I used to bowl everywhere. Executive Bowl was like a place I used to go to all the time. Now it's gone, but yeah, Louisville, that's crazy. What's crazy is I used to be scared when I went to Louisville because my family's a little older, and so they would watch First 48, and like a whole season of First 48 took place in Louisville, Kentucky. So I was terrified to go to Louisville.
Seriously, though.
So you grew up, played ball in Louisville. What sports did you play?
So when I was younger, I had an older sister who was a better athlete than me by far growing up.
Okay.
So I basically just followed in her footsteps. If it was, time for swimming, we swam. I played a little bit of soccer, basketball, just everything when I was younger, but really fell into baseball hard when I was probably 8 or 9 and just stuck all the way through. So
you stopped playing soccer, basketball, and everything else?
Yeah, when I was about 10 years old, I stopped, and it was just baseball.
Just baseball.
Yeah, just
so
baseball.
You were full-time baseball through high school. And that was it. And
you
used to pitch.
I was a primary pitcher, so I was a pitcher before I was a hitter. So the Angels actually scouted me as a pitcher.
Okay, so how did that kind of happen?
I was just had a good arm. I was one of those guys that could throw it hard, and they were like, "Oh, we want to, we want to take a look." But I loved hitting. I loved hitting, and I was playing center field at the time and loved it. And so
you didn't want to pitch at all?
No, I had that itch to pitch. You know what I mean? I wanted to, every once in a while I was like, hey, I want to get back on the mound. But I stopped after my junior year of high school pitching. So I pitched all the way through in junior year.
You started, or you came in and closed, or you just did whatever?
A little bit of both. So I would start, and then if a couple of days had gone by and I felt good, I'd come in for relief. But man, I remember my arm was killing me. I had that teres minor back here, behind the shoulder, and I was like, man, this is tough. And at the time, hitting, I was taking leaps and bounds, at the plate, and really wanted to continue, to swing it. But yeah, I miss it though. Sometimes I'm like
pitching. Do you ever get back on the mound at all?
No, I don't want somebody to get fired.
Okay, so you got drafted. Was all this new to you? Because especially, so for me, I'm from Nashville and didn't do a whole lot of traveling. And when I first got drafted, I went, and that was my first time really being around people speaking Spanish, Dominicans and whatnot. And so it was a super cool but scary experience because I didn't really fit in there. I didn't really know, didn't really have friends or anything. So how was that for you?
I would definitely say that when I got to Arizona and the Arizona League was definitely a wake up call for sure. That was definitely, the language barrier was a lot at that
Pig Latin
point.
didn't work?
Pig Latin didn't work. It was me talking to myself at that point in the mirror, But as I moved up and got into low A and high A and stuff like that, there was a lot of, there was more 50-50. And then, by that time, I guess the Spanish speakers were a little bit more fluent, in English. And so it was a little better, easier to communicate. But it taught me that that's just what team is. You know what I mean? That you got to find a way to communicate with your team, figure out what works for you. It definitely found my balance. But at first I was like, wow, did I make a mistake? You know what I mean? Am I in the wrong clubhouse? So.
Okay, so then debuting during COVID, was that tough for you? Or, obviously, you didn't have fans or anything and whatnot. So how was that for you?
It was tough, man. I'm not going to lie, because there were no official games. My first official game was in the big leagues, because we had the alternate site going on in 2020. So it was basically just inter squads.
Right.
We were facing old teammates from last year, and then we had the spit test, and guys that didn't pass, they had to go home. And so there were days where we had coaches playing the field.
Oh, wow.
During inter squad games, and we were trying to take them serious, and it was like, I got my first base coach at shortstop.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And then the pitching coach is the umpire. That type of situation. And then in August, I got called up. So I flew into Seattle and played, and that was a wake up call for sure. It was like, wow, you know what I mean? I'm in the big leagues and running out there. We got Albert Pujols at first and running out there with Mike in center. It was like, and this is your first game of the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I bet that was cool.
It was the big leagues, and we soaked up the experience. I was glad it was a 60-game sprint for sure, absolutely, but just glad to be out there and to have been a part of it for sure.
What was it like when you played your first game with fans?
Well, it was actually the crazy thing was the
They
moment
kind of eased their way back in, right?
they did. It was kind of interesting because I debuted with fans in 21 after I got called back up kind of halfway through the year. So I'd already kind of had the experience of like some fans being in the stands, but not in the big leagues.
Right.
And then I came back up in 21 in Texas, and we had fans, and it was a good game. I came back up, and so it was a little interesting, but it was like a long time awaiting. It felt like I actually debuted in 21.
Yeah. I remember and not playing, and you remember they made a bunch of signs and stuff they put in the outfield. I don't know if they did it with you guys, but for us they made signs of like fake fans. Yep. And I remember as the season went on, when they slowly started to add fans in, I think it may have been during the playoffs. It was like a different adrenaline. It was a beautiful thing. Oh, there's like 25%, then 50%, then 75%, then full or whatever. So how was that for you? Like when fans started to come up, did you feel different?
It's definitely an important factor, that little pep in your step that you get when you know that people are out there and they're coming to see something. I think, originally it was like I was in a simulation almost at the beginning, because it was like cardboard cutouts and then MLB The Show music. It was like, is this real, or is this me doing something in my backyard? It didn't feel like the real thing. And then obviously you're facing the competition. You're like, this is the real thing. But yeah, once fans started to come back in, it started to feel like how I envisioned the big leagues to be when I thought about what my debut would be and thought about playing every day. And so, but getting through that though, that was a learning lesson, I think, for everybody. Just a crazy experience, but really once 21 hit, I was pretty excited to kind of get out there and get going.
Now, I do have a question. Why do you wear a glove under your glove?
It's crazy. So I didn't for a while, but it became a superstition because the game that I robbed 3 homers, I had a batting glove under my glove.
Yeah, but why?
I don't know why, but I just happened to have one, and so now.
But you put your glove on. So
right.
When you put your glove on, you knew that there was a batting glove on. Right. So you just disregarded it.
Well, I think it was one of those things where I just didn't take it off, and it just happened to be on while I was out there. So I was like, you know what? Like, it seems to work, so I'm just gonna leave it on.
And now it's
now it's like putting your socks on. Now you got to do it. Now
Jo Adell, you're strapping that glove on and then putting your glove on.
I'm the batting glove. It's tight. I'm strapping that thing on. There's nothing about it.
Is that the same batting glove you hit with?
Yes.
So that it doesn't come off.
It doesn't come off.
So what happens if you when it's hot and it gets sweaty and everything?
Then it is what it is. Then you just got to grind through it.
Wow.
Superstition.
Wow. I wear a glove under my glove when it's cold, but I feel like it's just a lot, to wear the glove, and it's hot and it gets sweaty. And then when it gets sweaty, how you gonna hold on to the bat? Pine tar, I guess.
Well, I use the lizard skin grip tape on there.
I use the skin too,
with a little bit of tar on there.
Okay.
Yeah. But no,
So do you keep an extra pair close just in case it? No, or you're just rocking that glove no matter what.
No. I got an extra pair in there if it gets bad. If I start slipping, because I'll let go of the bat and throw it in the second deck. So
that's when you gotta switch gloves.
That's when we gotta switch it out. But I'm for sure putting that batting glove on and going out there. Actually, I've grown to like the feel. Now
wow.
I love it. Yeah, I feel like I'm really locked in there. So
I feel like Jeter did it, right? He had a batting glove under his glove.
Hey, see, yeah.
Something to think about.
Hey, there it is.
I'm not doing it, but I think it may be something neat. Okay, so I want to before we close, I got a couple things. I want to build a perfect all LA player. All right, so we got the power, the contact, the IQ, the field, the speed. Those are the 5 things. And then last but not least, the swag. All LA player. So he's got to be on the Angels or the Dodgers. Okay? All LA.
Okay.
Power.
Oof.
There's only 2 people. There's only 2 people you have to choose from.
Showtime.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Okay, contact.
Man, I'm trying to think who would contact. You know what? I'm gonna choose one of my buddies. I'm gonna go Nolan Shonowell.
Okay, so we got Shohei's power with Shonowell's contact. What about IQ?
I'm going to go Mike Trout.
Trout's IQ. Okay. I like how this is shaping up. Fielding.
Let's see. I'm going to go you, Mook.
Oh, nice. Okay. Okay, so fielding. Okay, what about speed?
Speed. I was going to say a player I've already said.
I mean, you still can. You still can.
I mean, Show can move, man.
Show's really fast.
He can move, and it's sneaky. It's sneaky fast.
Yeah, he's really fast.
Yeah, it's sneaky fast.
I may would go Kim though. Hassan Kim.
He can move too, huh?
He's yeah.
They both like
He's
Shohei's
really
got the
fast.
strides.
Yeah.
Where he just strided out and you don't
Yeah.
recognize how fast he's going.
You don't.
All right, let's go Kim though.
Kim.
I saw him yesterday and he was scooting a little bit.
Yeah, he runs a little. And what about the swag? Now we got the swag. I mean, you wear a glove under your glove, so you got all types of swag.
I'm going Jo Adell on swag.
Jo Adell on the swag.
Come on now. I'm going Jo Adell on swag. Sorry.
And before we close, I do a lot of these shows on the road, and I wanted to try some Angel Stadium food, and we have I think we have a Korean hot corn dog. I'm not a corn dog guy. Are you a corn dog guy?
You know what? I will. I can do it. But a Korean corn dog, never had it.
Never had it.
Yeah. So we're gonna test it out and see what we got. Okay.
Are those fries on it?
I have no idea. They didn't walk me through the menu.
Potatoes on the outside.